update settings for Twitch.
Well, we don't need to
And
update.
so we await.
Yes, well, you don't need to wait long. We were here. We may not have been online, but we were here.
All right. Shall we begin?
I guess we should.
I think we're live, actually.
Well, we are, but we don't have a picture of us yet, so they could see who we are. And here we are.
Here we are
right,
again.
And you're quite out of the picture. You're doing that deliberately, but that's okay. You do not need to make me.
Oh, you had made me put the camera down for your video.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder if that'll work. Yeah, we'll make everyone sick.
It doesn't look good, Corey. It's not a good sight, Corey. Don't put it down there.
Oh.
It's not a good place for it.
Aim it towards me.
I'll try when we get this. Sorry about that, people. Of course.
It's the Corey and Lori
Chaos
Show.
Yes, because we never get these things right. All right, how does that fit on there?
It just slips on.
It slips on. What?
No.
Fix it.
Yep.
Fix it.
Yep. Like that.
Anybody get anything nice for free comic book day? No.
Didn't know it happened.
We didn't know it happened, but congratulations on free comic book day.
If only I had. Oh, this is showing too much of my belly.
Well,
Which is too fat.
Oh no. Okay. Well, great. Well, welcome. It's actually a fairly beautiful day here in Southern California.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No. Not a look.
I tell you, I need new hats.
Hello, everybody. Well, hope all is well.
It's
not
dusty.
exactly.
I haven't worn it in a while.
Yeah, last week. No. Yeah, last week. We went to Disneyland.
And brought home disease.
It brought home COVID.
Or
It's most
technically
likely
not
COVID.
It tested negative.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean anything. So therefore, I think we have COVID.
An as yet unknown variety of COVID.
Yes,
that
exactly.
tests negative.
Yeah.
I don't think it's nearly serious enough to be COVID.
Well, we've had all our shots, sort of like.
Merely debilitating.
Yeah. So, so we did do Disneyland, and we did it for a reason. We wanted to make sure that we did the new Star Wars areas of Disney. So we
got lots of pictures.
That was mostly what I went for. Clearly, it wasn't to go to the rides, because we actually didn't go to any of the Star Wars.
None of the new ones.
None of the new ones.
We did go on Star Tours.
Yes, we did. We did the Star Tours.
Which is their old one that used to make me sick every time I went on it. But in a different way. And I did not get that kind of sick. I did not get motion sick.
Yes.
Happy to report.
Let's see. Thank you, Murdochtopus. They subscribed for 6 months. Currently on a one.
Murdoch DeVos.
DeVos. Okay, I don't know how you got that out.
Murdochtopus.
Yeah. To my knowledge, I've never caught it, but I keep masked fairly religiously at work. Yeah, at an laboratory.
Oh, we were not religiously masked at Disneyland, and evidently should have been.
Yeah, we paid the price for it.
We went there because they have a deal for Southern California residents that you get 3 one-day visits to the 2 parks at a more reasonable price, and we're hoping we'll be able to use our other 2 days. We're supposed to see California Adventure and then another Disneyland trip to actually buy a fast pass. They have a thing called Genie Plus, and for an extra $25 each, you can actually get on the rides.
Yeah, it's only, an hour and a half from here?
Yeah.
So,
it's a reasonable drive. Actually, it was an hour when we went.
Yeah, so it's a legitimately thing that isn't a big deal, except that it costs an arm and a leg. But
hey, I stole both my arms. Oh, you're missing an arm. Okay, that explains it.
God, clearly.
Yes, Lori paid the price.
Yes. The camera that isn't quite panoramic, and we wouldn't want it to be. So, at any rate, our theme this week is in honor of May the 4th be with you, and honor of Star Wars, even though we're not the world's greatest Star Wars fans.
And since we're a couple days late, Lori decided this is actually the Revenge of the Sixth.
Yes. But we do have, we have a history with Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Corey stood in line for the first one.
Well, actually, the first one, I was working in Chicago and staying in a hotel room in the Loop. And I got Time Magazine that I'd picked up on my flight in. And it said, movie of the year, Star Wars. And I said, well, that's kind of ridiculous thing to say in July before, half the year's over. How can you say this is movie of the year? But I made sure to go see the film and said, they might be right.
Yeah. Well, Time Magazine at the time was the major magazine for news and things like that. And they did a huge spread on the sequel to Star Wars.
Which was The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, and, showing off Yoda and things like that. So they got good coverage, and it really did, exacerbate the whole situation of people standing in line to go to those things.
Did you stand in line with me for Empire, or did I go separately?
You went separately.
Oh, okay, so I went with a bunch of cult friends, and we stood in this line that went 3/4 of the way around the city block, so it was effectively 3 city blocks long. And people were like role playing Darth Vader and stuff like that, so it was fun.
Belzar said, yes, I've heard that going to Disney theme parks has gotten drastically more expensive over the past few years to the point where the average family may have difficulty affording it.
As far as we can tell, an average family can't afford life in the U.S.
Yeah. So it's just one more thing you can't afford.
Our starter home is it's in a senior community, so that's discounted for that, and it's up to it was like $200,000 5 to 10 years ago, and now it's like
the house we're living in.
We're living in, that we're hoping to inherit is. Now listing for like $500,000, and the average home price in this area is $750,000. Good stuff. San Diego is a home. It's a whole
rather like listening to a broken recording.
Yes, the housing prices are getting up to $1 million average. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And to go back to Disney,
nobody can afford it.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday about, the thing in Florida where DeSantis versus Disney. And basically, he said that that people save up for the Disney. It's the once-in-a-lifetime thing for some people. They go twice in their lifetime, once when they're a kid and once to save up and bring their kids to it. And honestly, that was kind of like our family, too.
That sounds sensible.
It was something you saved up for. It wasn't something you randomly went to out of the spur of the moment, which is kind of what we did with this Disney thing.
Whereas our daughter-in-law, growing up, went every year on a family vacation.
Yeah, so
and they were not a rich family, but it wasn't that expensive 20 years ago.
Jacobine says they prefer Spaceballs. Yeah. Pretty good point. And Brainiac says, amusingly, my father felt the need to inform me of a new drink that just released in Greater Cincy. Luke, I am your lager.
We like it.
Yes. Empire is my favorite. Okay. Webhead Spider says, hey, Corey and Lori, I hope you're doing well. Well, you'll be able to tell just how we're doing while we're in the course of this.
Just a few little coughs here and there.
But
noses.
If you prefer something not of the dark side, they also put out a pale ale Rebel Yell. Okay.
Of course, Rebel Yell is generally associated more with the Civil War than...
in most places. Well, maybe not in Cincinnati.
I think that's actually the title of a novel by Andre Norton.
Maybe. But I never read that one. I read most of
I read it twice because it was in a collection.
I know you. Kindle. Yeah. All right. And, yes, Cosmic Void says, good evening. And Murdochtopus says, I feel lucky I went to Orlando once as a small child and once again early teens. Yeah, it's not something that you need to, honestly be the mecca or the thing, but
Well, I can place my Disney World and Epcot visit precisely. It was in 1998. Uh, and the reason I know that is because I got fired from Sierra over going to it.
Yes. And I didn't. Because I didn't get to go. We were putting out Quest for Glory 5.
And she canceled
And
her trip.
I canceled my trip to Disneyland just to get the stupid game out. But, yeah.
Whereas I felt that we were ready to ship in August and should have shipped in August, and the management had come out with unreasonable last-second demands, and that was why it got delayed to end of November. And that was too late.
Yeah. Oh, well. Our life is always like that. We're always too late for something. Kenita, thank you for showing up, Kenita.
Hi,
Good to
Kenita.
see you. Yeah. My friend Mary Ann goes to Disneyland 3 times a year. She also lives in Atherton, a high-rent district. Her husband is a Silicon Valley founder. Yeah, she's got the money to do that. I will never be a big Disney fan because, you believe me, if you think they're Star Wars fans, there's a lot of Disney fans. Yes.
Yeah, we went for Halloween. We went on a Disney cruise with our son and daughter-in-law and grandson, and there were, as we walked along past all the staterooms, that we saw all these custom door markers that people had their family name and custom Disney thing artwork and stuff like that. That indicated that they were regular cruisers that did this all the time.
Yeah. So there are people that live their life at Disneyland.
Disney kids,
Yeah.
even as adults.
California is a great place to be a billionaire. Well, yes, it is. It's got a lot of going for it. But, I don't know. If I were a billionaire, I might want to go to Hawaii. But honestly, no. I really
California's a pretty nice place.
I really like the climate in California if you look for the right place.
California is a perfectly nice place for, upper middle class people that have enough to live here. And that otherwise, and even, even below that, if you have enough money to survive in California and the climate's nice, there's things to do, and a lot of them don't cost any money.
I'm critical of Disney, most because the way they just buy property and own so many IPs. Still, I love the parks. Yeah, I mean, you can be very critical of Disney. It does some really stupid things, and it does a few things right, but yeah.
But if you love those IPs, okay, so if you're a Monkey Island fan, then Disney having bought them, you can be a Disney fan by proxy through Monkey Island.
Did they buy it? What?
They bought Lucas Films, yeah. Disney owns Lucas.
Oh, by way of...
Yeah, Disney bought Lucas. And
all right, yeah, but they don't do anything with it, so that doesn't really count. If they don't do anything with the thing, then
they allowed Ron Gilbert to...
yes, they did, which is better than Activision. Yes.
Yeah, Activision basically is afraid of making mistakes. They won't let anyone license the games, and they don't do them themselves, with the exception of the remade or the new King's Quest series games.
I heard that just until recently at Disney hotels in Florida, they charged hotel guests $40 a night parking on top of the hotel rooms that cost $400 and $600 a night. It put a bad taste in some people's mouths. Well, it probably would put a bad taste in everybody's mouth because...
But it's also considered normal these days.
No, in cities where the parking is limited. Apparently there were enough complaints that they stopped charging for parking again. That is absolutely ridiculous in a place where it was not that there was too much parking spaces. Yeah.
Or too many people for the parking, yeah. So, yeah, I had a job interview in San Francisco a few years ago, and it was like somewhere between $50 and $70 a night for parking at the hotel I was staying at.
California is a nice place to be homeless. The climate rocks. Yes, if you have to be homeless, be somewhere place where you could sleep at night, not freeze to death, and not get rained out. And in general, try not to be homeless because it sucks, truly, as we all can imagine. And Zamatra said, "Good afternoon, all. My brother-in-law works at the Disney cruise in Florida. that place was amazing. We got to tour not only the entire ship, but the passages that are only for employees.
But that's kind of dull, though.
Oh, I think it would be exciting. Yes, funny though. Even with that last-minute discount, we could never sail on it. Only visit him in the ship for a couple of hours. Yeah, I knew Kenny. I recognized that ZA was California.
Our cruise wasn't too bad. It was
It was money.
It was only
Seriously.
about a month's rent for each of us, which
Okay.
but that was for 4 days.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. The Disney ownership of Monkey Island worried a lot of folks since they have no reason to use it instead of Pirates of the Caribbean. That is true. It could have been. They would bury it, which like so many companies do.
Yeah.
But they did let Ron Gilbert make one, and it isn't much like Pirates of the Caribbean at all. I can kind of see Quest for Glory being a Disney property. It has that vibe. Then imagine Quest for Glory rides. Yes, honestly, I wish it was a shame that Microsoft is probably not going to get to buy Activision out, because it would be good for all. I mean, it can't be worse. It's sad when you don't think Microsoft would be a worse manager for a company.
They have approval from something like 23 countries so far, but the UK said nope. So they will have to resolve that before the deal can go through.
And it probably will, but
which is very reminiscent of why Quest for Glory existed, because the Games Workshop in England said, we own the copyright for Hero Quest in the UK, and you can't distribute in the UK if you use that Heroes Quest.
Oh, well. The fact that we've got Return to Monkey Island was, quite honestly, shocking and wonderful. Yes, it was.
I haven't finished playing it yet.
Hawaii is the best place to be homeless if you got to be. I don't know. It's really expensive to be in Hawaii.
Well, I don't know. Maybe tourists drop a lot of food and stuff that you can scrounge up.
I see. That's so generous, and you could go fishing, maybe. But no, I think but it is a hell of a lot better to be homeless around here or Hawaii than Cincinnati. I would not.
I think that one park under was it a banyan tree, whatever that tree was that has spread all over the place.
Yeah, that tree that was everywhere. Yeah, there was
I think there were a lot of homeless people there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
They were really nice homeless people.
Yeah. But getting back to Star Wars, the thing I liked most recently has been Andor. That's the one thing I haven't watched. Freelancer says good evening. Oh yeah, good evening, Freelancer. My favorite things are the Clone Wars, Rebels, and the Bad Batch. So that just says what my taste is. I did not finish Andor. I did like
Rebel shirt.
Yeah, I am. Happy Saturday, yes, for all of us that are in the United States, and then something, as long as you're not in. Happy Saturday. But I did not finish watching Andor. I just watched the first episode. I did not finish The Mandalorian. I just watched the first season. I watched several things of the bounty hunter guy, who I never understood why anybody wanted to make him into something. But then it started to intersect with the Mandalorian season that I hadn't seen, so I couldn't watch the rest of that.
I've watched somewhere between 1.5 and 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. I think I finished the second season, but I'm not sure.
What else is there? Oh, I like the Obi-Wan series. Yeah, Boba Fett really didn't need to be made. Yeah, well, I didn't think so, although it was kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to Ahsoka, says Brainiac, mostly because I'm looking forward to live action Thrawn, still played by Lars Mikkelsen. Thrawn is awesome. I mean, in Rebels, he was...
Thrawn. What is he?
He is a... one of the blue skin races in Star Wars: The Old Republic.
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, any rate, he is brilliant. He is a brilliant logician for the Empire.
I
as
keep
the
seeing
bad
the
person.
acronym OG and can never... Chiss, that's it, yes.
Chiss. Yay!
Yes, the
Yeah.
Chiss.
He's Chiss.
OG, I guess that's the original trilogy, but I can't
Okay.
figure out why OG stands for original.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we got into Star Wars fandom because that's all there was the original trilogy, or in fact, the original 2 movies, and then I think we were together for the 3rd one.
Yeah, he's basically Sherlock Holmes, a military strategist who is definitely on the wrong side of good and evil.
Which is sort of reminiscent of Data.
Original generation. Okay, yes, we're definitely of the original generation thing. And
Star Trek original generation makes sense.
yeah, we're more Star Trek than Star Wars.
I mean, everybody
actually.
totally mocked the prequel series and what's his name character?
Poor Biggs, Jar Jar.
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks. People hated JarJar Binks.
I really...
It's like, this is enjoyable. This is fine. This is Star Wars. I didn't have a problem with it, and I liked the sequel movies. So I'm good with all of them.
I hated Jar Jar only because he was so poorly written. He was an interesting character that could have been
had the potential, failed to use it.
Yes, they just mocked him in the story. They just made him an absolute blooming idiot. That was so wrong. But then I had so much to hate about what they did to those characters and the whole midichlorian crap. Yeah. Oh my God!
Original gangsta.
Yeah, that's also valid slang. Yeah. All right, I need to get up and go blow my nose so I can actually breathe. Yeah, I know. All right.
So we're doing great. Doing awesome. I would have canceled the stream like the previous one, but Lori's able to talk through her stuff without coughing too much. So harder for me. Anyway, so we were going to science fiction. I started going to science fiction cons, again through a fringe fandom, which was Dungeons & Dragons. So I started playing D&D when I was working in Chicago, and my mom told me about an SF con going on near the LA airport that,
I can be tiny and small.
that had gaming. Would you take a pad?
Okay. I'm still tiny.
You can make yourself taller.
Yeah, I will.
But she's farther away.
Well, I have my chair up there. I could get your chair up too, probably.
Oh, okay.
If I can figure out where the handle is.
Is that a bird? No, a cricket. Cheer up.
What?
Cheer up.
Ah.
Cheer up. Anyway, so yes, Star Wars. So the science fiction cons that we went to used to be,
You don't have a handle. That's why
you're distracting me.
Okay. All right, fine. I'm
There's
distracted.
a handle, but it's broken.
I see now. You tell me.
That's why I don't use that chair anymore. I was talking about science fiction conventions of the 70s.
Yes, you were.
And in the 70s, cons were mostly about literary, basically novels, and occasionally comic books came into it. And then they started introducing gaming. So I got in because I had learned to play Dungeons & Dragons while working in Chicago. And my mom said, there's this convention you might be interested in at the LA airport. And I went thinking I might be able to find a D&D game. And I did. And in fact, I, quote, won my game. And because I was playing a paladin, and the DM said, that's great, because the final treasure of this you'll have a great interest in. And little spoiler. And it turned out to be a holy sword. And the rest of the players, who were full of greed, did not want to give me the holy sword. They said I would offer my +3 sword in trade, or +2, whatever it was. And I said, nope, not good enough. We got to roll it off. And so, divine will being what it is, I won the roll off. And so I said, I guess you don't get my replacement sword then, for your greed. And similar to another game in which, as a paladin, I wanted to destroy the evil weapon we had found, and the party was, no, we can get money for that. So I went and destroyed it.
Very good. Stick by your principles and piss everybody
All of which has little to do with
making
Star Wars.
the most annoying character in the world.
Yes, we played them. My original Chicago D&D group had a house rule. This was before AD&D. AD&D
Codified rules.
codified rules,
Yeah.
and one of them was paladins had to have an int of a score of at least 9 on a 3 to 18 scale. Our Chicago house rule for original D&D was that paladins must have an int of 8 or lower, because if they were any smarter than that, they wouldn't be so religious. Anyway, so conventions. So that was why I went to cons, and why Lori went to cons. Because of gaming? No, you went to cons.
I went to cons because of science fiction.
Science
honestly.
fiction. Well, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
What's
Rings,
your first one?
kind of. No, I never went to a Lord of the
Oh, I thought
Rings
you did.
con. No, there wasn't one. But I did wind up going to media cons, and I had no problem with, the furor over we're science fiction con, and now all these media people liking Star Wars is coming in. Honestly, I consider cons to be the more the merrier, and
Yep.
it could embrace all of fandom, really.
So I graduated college in 77, Lori in 78, and I think Star Wars came out in 76 or 77.
I don't know.
I think it came out in 77 because
Easily checked.
that was
That's what
all right.
Google is for. Star Wars. All right, fine. Now we'll get the whole thing.
Star Wars for A New Hope. Star Wars.
There, don't go anywhere.
1977. Mark Hamill,
77.
Harrison
Okay,
Ford.
fine. You got it.
Okay, so 1977 Star Wars came out, and that was my timing's a little. Well, yeah, I guess I graduated in June, and I hadn't realized I was in Chicago that early. But July I read that Time magazine thing and had to see it. But
Thank you, Octopus. It's Empire was 80, and Jedi was 83. So it was Jedi that we actually were living in the house in Sunnyvale, and we all wound up going to go see Return of the Jedi when we had a house party at our house the day that the toilets all got backed up and we had no working toilet in the house.
that's TMI.
Yeah, well, no, but it was why we all got, the whole
Stressful.
group went out and went
Oh, that's
to,
why we went to the theater.
Right, yes, we
I
all went
see.
to the theater.
Well, I just remember a Worldcon in which they played all of the 3 Star Wars movies back to back. They had the entire trilogy, and that would have been Iguanacon in 1978. No, that can't be doesn't make any sense, does it?
What?
It would have been, what I said was nonsense.
Okay, fine.
Okay, 1984, the Worldcon in Los
yes,
Angeles.
Los Angeles, yes.
Had the theme based on the movie 1984.
The book 1984.
The book 1984. The book 1984. And it was all about rats.
Yeah, it was RatCon.
RatCon, because the Winston, the main character in 1984, is terrified of rats.
And so everybody went to Disneyland. We had a Disneyland.
Yeah, they reserved Disneyland for a day. So everybody at the con went to Disneyland. There was nothing but con goers there, and it was an amazing experience. Because for one thing, the lines weren't quite as long.
Yeah.
And
you could be in line with somebody else, and you could all have a conversation because you all had
Film geeks.
We all were the same people, We all had the same interests, so it was a really good day.
So I think that was the convention. Star Wars Episode 6 was 83, yeah. So 84, 84 at the Worldcon, they had all 3 films back to back.
Yeah.
Except my timing may still be off because I seem to remember it was the premiere of Return of the Jedi that they had that for. Anyway, matters not.
Kenita, were you at that convention? I can't remember if you were there.
At our house?
No, convention at Iguana.
The 1984 one?
1984 one, because I know we had some
Yeah,
friends
LA.
with us in LA.
It's probably called LA Con.
Webhead Spidey says, must be nice back in the day not to worry about spoilers on the internet when Darth Vader revealed to be Luke's father, huh?
Well, the best
Yes.
of all was the one at Denvention, which Lori and I went to at Denver, Colorado. And in the art show, they had some wonderful pieces. We bought a couple of amazing pieces from there. But Phil Folio, at an entirely different warehouse scene that I've talked about before, I think. But he had one of them in which the guy's talking and saying, my friend always went to worked in a theater and always saw the premieres of films before anyone else. And our gaming group, he was constantly tormenting us by giving us spoilers for the films. And so when he saw, was it Empire Strikes Back that happened in?
Yeah, well,
I think it was the second film, Empire Strikes Back. He said, I got to tell you, he said, no, don't say a word. I haven't seen the film yet. You're going to spoil it for me. And he says, just 4 words. I said, 4 words can't help. I can't hurt. And he says, Luke, I'm your father.
Yes. So
yes, we had spoilers even back then.
Yeah, it didn't take the internet to spoil. It was already a thing.
I ruined the Sixth Sense, for Lori. When we were at a bookstore, it's like some kind of store shopping, and 2 women were animatedly talking about a film, and the guy saying, "I see dead people," and I say, "Oh, that sounds pretty interesting. What film was that?" And Lori's like, no, and they say, The Sixth Sense, and Lori's like, God damn it, Corey! Like I had spoiled it for her.
Yes.
Well, I let her know which film they were talking about.
Yeah.
There were spoilers in real life, long before there were spoilers on the internet. People used to talk to each other and stuff.
Oh, well. Exactly.
That was just folio art, amazing. That other piece was based on Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they had the warehouse where they put the Ark at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he's got all the crates talking to each other. One of them says, "I hight Excalibur," and stuff like that, and
all the talking
and
artifacts.
And the people meanwhile, saying, are you sure this is that this will be researched properly? It says, "Oh, we got top men on it. Top men."
Yes. Webhead Spidey says, when I was in high school, my friend was kind of a dick, and he would falsely spoil Spider-Man 3 and say, "Man, I can't believe Spider-Man died in the end."
Did he?
I don't know.
I don't remember it. Did we watch it?
We didn't see Spider-Man 3. This is the original series. I don't think the second one got
Spider-Man. Excalibur reveals the way.
Honestly, Spider-Man was one of my favorite comic books when I was reading comic books. So I read them a long time ago. But he was my favorite character because I liked his angsty.
A watery tart.
Yeah, well, that probably doesn't have much to do with Spider-Man now.
No, it has nothing to do with Excalibur.
In front of other customers coming out of the movie, I see. Oh, that was jerky. Yes. No, Spider-Man doesn't die. Good. In any of the movies. No, I didn't think so. It's silly. It's a comic book character. It's against the law. If they do get killed off, there has to be a way to bring them back. Yeah. My intro to Spider-Man was the animated series that was on Fox Kids in the 90s. Well, yeah. We watched, mine predates that we were watching the Spider-Man series when it was on Saturday morning cartoons, yes.
Well, we had a little pharmacy or some such store at the, open up at the bottom of the hill when I was in elementary school, and I used to take walk down to the bottom of the road to catch the school bus, and if I went down a few more steps, I'd get to the store, and they had pinball machines. So after school, sometimes I would play pinball before going home, and my mom would always wonder what had happened to me. Well, one day it was really rainy, so I had a great excuse to be 3 hours late home. Mm-hmm. I would buy comic books there, so mostly DC, Superman, Spider-Man, that sort of thing.
Kanita says she doesn't mind spoilers. She's been in plays at choirs, and they have to feel fresh even after a dozen repetitions. Having a crappy memory does help. Yes, yeah. This name stinks. I had The Sixth Sense spoiled for me, too. At a shop, we had a running joke after Armageddon that Bruce Willis dies at the end, even for movies that didn't have Willis in them. Someone said when Sixth Sense he was mentioned, and another person said, no, he dies in the beginning. And I could tell he wasn't joking. Yeah, you want to shoot that person, yeah. Really.
Yeah, we read an interesting thing in Image Systems that mentioned The Sixth Sense, that there is no red in any of the scenes except when ghosts, dead people were present, then there is red in those scenes. And that's the cue, the fact that...
What was that term called? There's a term...
Image system.
Image system, yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies that use an image system of a color that triggers something.
Yeah.
David D.
So that one, watch for the color, watch it again and watch for the color red. And you'll see every time there's something red in the scene, there's someone dead there.
David says the 1960s Spider-Man, right? Yes, with the pointy finger meme. Yes. Yes, and also dorky plots and things like that, yeah.
Titanic was spoiled for me. Somebody told me the Titanic sank in the end. I never would have thought that would happen.
You wouldn't think anybody made a film about that movie. I mean, that ship, you know. It's like, but then again, I can't imagine anybody making the prequels.
David's fine.
Yeah, okay. I had a sinking feeling in mine. Very good. You know, I didn't think the prequels would ever be made because, honestly, we knew that it was going to be a massive downer. It was creating...
Which the Star Wars prequels?
Yes. It was going to, you know, Luke... I mean, Anakin was going to turn evil. What kind of storyline is that going to be a lot of
And one
fun?
of the basic rules in storytelling is always start in the middle of the action. And you know, imply the what's come before,
Right.
because that's kind of the boring part. And if you want to make it exciting, you start in the middle, and that's exactly what Star Wars did by starting with, you know, number 4. So Lucas had written this as a series, I guess, of novels, or
he wrote one
something.
book, and he was making it up as he went along.
All right,
so,
fine.
But the
He
first
claimed
book of
he had
Star
the whole
Wars,
series plotted out, and that's why the first film was always intended to be the 4th.
the book came out the book Star Wars did come out before the movie came out because my brother read it. So he had the book because we were avid readers and things like that. But honestly,
What kind of things?
huh?
What kind of things like that?
Oh.
You know, things like that. You know.
Oh well. So he actually read the book before the movie, and it was an interesting book. So and it was also ghost written, but that's okay. But Lucas was making these things up as he went along.
So everybody talked at the time Star Wars came out about the amazing special effects that, you know, they couldn't have done up to that point. Whereas for Lori and me, it was not that. It was the fact that this legitimized science fiction.
Yeah.
That suddenly mass audiences were watching these SF adventure films and enjoying them and talking about them. And we were still nerds, but we were slightly more acceptable nerds because we could talk about themes that other people like too.
Murdoch Latipos says he wanted to make it feel like an old serialized media, Flash Gordon and such, which I got to watch on television, and once in a...
Flash Gordon?
Flash Gordon rather than Flesh Gordon, which I also watched once, but Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers, those were interesting, the way they were styled to be a very short film, short sequel that you would watch a little bit, you'd have this cliffhanging thing, and then you'd have to wait for the next movie, but I was watching on television, so it always meant that I could watch the next one.
Boxar says George Lucas is not a good writer. He may be a good world and lore creator, but he can't write.
Right.
As evidenced by the episode 1 script. I enjoyed Star Wars 1. I'm pretty good suspension of disbelief. I don't tear movies apart and, say, oh, how horrible that was. Like our friend who's a gigantic Lord of the Rings fan and was totally incensed about the Lord of the Rings films, and even in the first film was, that's not how hobbits act or something like that. And we're like, no, it's great. It's awesome. They've taken something we love and they put it on screen and in a pretty nice version. And yeah, does not have every detail that's in all the books because there's a lot of book there. But so what? Good films. So I liked all of the Star Wars films. I think my favorite of the first series was actually the third film, Return of the Jedi.
Ewoks and all? Ewoks and all?
Ewoks and all. Ewoks were amusing. They were fun, and they were very different. They were not, ordinary old, human-looking characters with a little skin tint. They were really different. And my feeling was that, people said it was unoriginal. I agreed, but I said basically, Return of the Jedi is the original Star Wars movie done with better special effects and better storytelling. So, I didn't think it was an original film, but I thought it was very well done. If I'd only had one of the first six, then I would have chosen that as my favorite.
There are things to be respected for in the first, the 1, 2, and 3 movies. There were some great moments of it.
Go ahead.
Like the fight between when Obi-Wan and his master Qui-Gon Jinn go into that spaceship that was
That's
trapped.
the prequels.
Yes, I said 1,
Oh,
2,
1, 2,
and
3.
3.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the
No,
original
I am
series.
not. I'm saying that despite the fact that I really can't stand a lot of things that were there, they had moments of brilliance here and there. And Amidala's costumes were just incredible. So, it's the first time I really appreciated the costume designer for a science fiction movie, yeah.
Anyways, that was one of our favorite joke lines that they managed to pull off in... It's a trap. There's 2 of them.
Yes. Webhead Spidey says, I was very oblivious that in Star Wars Episode 1, Anakin was Darth Vader. It came out in elementary school, so I watched the movie as if Anakin was a new character. Then a friend at school told me he was Darth Vader, which came as a shock. Yeah, I'll bet that came as a shock. And even in... Yeah,
it's still a shock to me because I don't relate Anakin's personality and Darth Vader's. It was too much of a shift, too sudden.
Yes, I mean, he was fine. I mean, well, no, he wasn't. He was a stinker in those movies. I can't help saying. But he was great in the Clone Wars. Clone Wars justified the transition from Anakin to Darth Vader. You could see the reasons and made it all valid. And without the Clone Wars, there is the movies kind of suck to me. Misa don't like sand, yes. The dialogue between Amidala and Anakin was pretty bad. We'll all go with that. Yeah, the sand.
Oh, there was some?
Yeah, yes. It gets everywhere, like the bad writing, yes. I love the Ewoks.
Hey.
Big fan of the cartoon.
We're celebrating Star Wars today. We're not...
dissing it?
Not here to mock...
Right. I love the Ewoks. Big fan of the cartoon. I did not see that cartoon, unfortunately. Fun fact, it was originally supposed to be the Wookiee planet, but it wouldn't fit the lore. So he made them small and reversed the name to get Ewok.
Oh, cool.
That's a fun one. I have not
Never heard
that one.
Ewok would be an electronic Wookiee.
Yeah. The Star Trek might have
Or
been one
Apple
of
branded.
the first mass market SF shows, but I think Bewitched and My Favorite Martian were the birthdays on TV. Well, yeah, I would go with My Favorite
How
Martian.
about Star Trek?
No,
it says so.
yes.
Star Trek may have been.
Let's see, and then of course, if we're going back to old television shows,
Lost in
you
Space.
have to say, Lost in Space came out after Star Trek?
Maybe.
I'm thinking, but
I don't know, I can look it up.
Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits, those were the original, to my mind.
Yeah.
I mean...
I always like Twilight Zone better than The Outer Limits. I consider The Outer Limits too dark and more of a horror series, whereas Twilight Zone...
where I would reverse
more of a
those.
fantasy.
Twilight Zone really had some horrific ones that scared me, I mean, as a kid, so, yeah.
It came from under the woodwork. That was one of the episodes.
Yes. What is it? Yeah. What is the one that was the It's a Wonderful Life type thing is the name of it, where the kid had telekinesis powers over the whole town, and everybody had to think that everything was wonderful because if they pissed off the kid, the kid was played, I think, by not Billy Mummy, Opie / director of
Ron Howard?
Yeah, Ronnie Howard at the time.
Wow.
And he was terrifying in that. So yeah, Those two were the most influential in television, but they.
Was it Terrifying and Stand By Me?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Clone Wars did what the prequels couldn't, which is tell the whole story exactly. And does anyone else remember the Ewoks made for TV movie? No, but I do remember the Christmas, Star Wars movie, which was so bad that even as a kid, we kind of said, this is dumb. Yeah, the 90s as Outer Limits was great. I don't know if the 90s were that great, but certainly the original series was great. And the 90s, I think the best ones were the ones they remade from the original series.
So Webhead and Spidey said, had an idea if there was a Quest for Glory Dragonfire expansion or DLC, more options to marry. Maybe add No Man as an option. We've heard on Hero U a lot of people wanted to marry Moira. Mm-hmm. That would include me.
Oh, well. Yeah, I don't think, No Man really has the hots for, what's
Keep
his
on
face?
Laughing?
Keep on Laughing? No. The other one. Punny Bones.
Punny Bones.
Right, and so...
although, the way she flirts with the hero...
Lost in Space predates Star Trek by 1 year. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, it's that other one. Galaxy...
Space 1999?
Space 1999. But
So
it
we
was,
can look all these things up.
Yeah,
Let's
Space
see.
1999 comes after. It was a very big
Okay,
disappointment.
Star Trek.
But...
it was 1966. Space 1999. It was 1975. So that was way later.
But the what was the other one?
In Space was 1965. So that was a year before Star Trek. Guy Williams in July.
Space 1999 British, I think. Yes, it was. It's a Good Life. Yes, thank you, Skip. Exactly. That's a really one. But I don't remember. Oh, there was also a show which was Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which was also that same thing of a short story told, completely in a thing.
Was it Twilight Zone or Outer Limits that had the one based on Frederick Brown's To Serve Man?
I don't know
guess
which
I'll have
one
to look
did
it up.
Yeah. The Jetsons predates Star Trek by 7 years. And, of course, we grew up with the Jetsons. And we all wanted to have that robot made, personally. Rosie, I guess she was. I mean, she was awesome. And Doctor Who. Exactly.
We should have canceled this.
No, we're still able to talk.
No, one of us is. All right. Well, I can't find the To Serve the Man, but it was in either Twilight Zone or Outer Limits, and it was based on a short story by Frederick Brown. And the punchline is they have these benevolent aliens that are offering Earth people the opportunity to emigrate to this wonderful planet where they'll live in peace. And as the writer of the story is starting to board, someone runs up and shouts and says, "Wait! We finally translated the title." Now, how you can translate a title without translating bulk of the book? Never mind that. But they translated just the title, and the title translated To Serve Man. Oh, I'm sorry. No, they knew the title was To Serve Man, and it was like, oh, they're going to be great. They want to be our servants. And somebody finally said, "We've translated the rest of the book. It's a cookbook."
Yes.
So, spoilers.
Yes, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Anyway, that was shocking to us at the time.
Yes,
but
for a short story that has been out since the 60s.
50s, I think.
Probably. Yeah, actually, you're probably right. I mean, I liked those stories he wrote.
Is it Frederick Brown?
Maybe.
Frederick Brown.
And there's a Simpsons parody of such. Never saw it.
Serve Man.
No.
Boy, they really don't want to give me that.
No, they don't.
It was such an influential story.
That's it.
Oh, it is Frederick. Okay, there it is with Fredric.
Actually, go to that.
On Wikipedia, serve.
One of his stories, Arena, was adapted to
1960.
Star Trek.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah. Frederick Brown hated to write. He'd do everything to avoid it. We all can relate to that really, really well.
I don't hate to write. I'm just terrified of it.
Yeah, well.
There's different kinds of procrastination.
So
one of the major one is fear of messing up.
Yeah.
Fear of writing something bad, and especially after, we got all you fans out there telling us how amazing our games were and saying, we don't know if we can make lightning strike in the same place.
I wonder, Rosie. I wonder if ChatGPT can converse in the style of Rosie.
Who's Rosie?
Rosie was the in the Jetsons. She was the maid who was based off of a television show.
Was she a robot?
She was a robot.
Robot maid, Rosie.
She was based off of a television show from the 50s that was a maid character in the 50s who had that same kind of attitude, which is why we went on to create Rosie. With the Gorm, yes, that's Arena. Arena? Yeah, I think it was the Gorm rather than the one where they're having the fight with between Spock and... he was born in... He died in Tucson, Arizona. Interesting.
If I search for To Serve Man cookbook. How about that?
I don't know what it is about today. It feels like one of those days to be crowned king.
Oh,
Maybe
they say Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone. Okay, there.
It was Damon Knight, so I'm wrong.
Okay.
Damon Knight wrote To Serve Man. That's why I couldn't find another Frederick Brown.
That's why you couldn't find it, yeah.
First appeared in 1950, November 1950.
Yeah.
Desktop.
To
Serve Man, a cookbook for people, available from Walmart.
Yeah, so you too
Ken Wilf.
Find a recipe book for
Ken Wirf.
Even eating people. Yes. Maybe you should beat Crest for Glory 5 and be king. Yeah, that's what it clearly is saying. Well, certainly Star Trek and Star Wars was influential on the Quest for Glory series. But, when you look at heroes and the hero mode from the pre-television, pre-movies era, the heroes of ancient Greece and the heroes of Norse mythology and all that, they were really rotters by our standards. All of the great heroes, Theseus and Odysseus and all of the Greeks, they left their women, they ran off, they had affairs,
See, Laurie thinks these are bad things.
Yeah. So, Klaatu Barada Nikto, yes.
Klaatu Barada Nikto.
Yes. That's another, actually, great movie that I didn't see until I went to science fiction cons, and got to actually see it in the science fiction con. That was the main reason, honestly, I go to science fiction cons to watch the old movies that you couldn't see on television, yes. Yeah. Klaatu Barada
Nikto.
Yes. By the way, Quest for Glory Dragonfire was what introduced me more into Greek mythology and got me interested in Greek stuff. Well, good.
Of course, Laurie and I loved Greek mythology our whole lives. My parents had the Edith Hamilton mythology by Edith Hamilton.
Thank you for following us.
And we had another mythology book that was very well known.
I got LaRousse's Book of Mythology for Christmas one year, and I absolutely adored it. It had all the mythologies from the different, from briefly Greek and Egyptian and all that. So I had a broad introduction to all those. Yeah,
we had modern versions of the Greek stories that were quite wonderful. Reading about Theseus and so on. Let's see, Perseus.
Yeah.
Was it? Get confused. Perseus, the one who fought the Medusa.
Yes.
And Theseus was something else.
The boat.
The boat, yeah. Okay, well, Theseus had this ship, you see.
Yeah.
And it got wrecked over time, ravages of time and all that. But it's okay because they would go and replace, each board is rotted, each splinter of wood.
Yes.
until eventually they had replaced every single thing on the ship of Theseus. And the question is, was it the same ship after
Is
it
it
was all
still
done?
the ship of
And
Theseus?
suppose someone took all those rotted parts and maybe ran a hairdryer over them or something and put them back together and made a new boat. Would that be the original ship of Theseus? Which one is the original?
Yeah. Datacron.
Does anyone care?
Yeah, really. Datacron guide. How many angels can dance on the head of a pin? Yeah, it's like, who cares? Off topic, but do you guys play SWTOR?
Yes, Star Wars: The Old Republic. Well, there's that was kind of based on Star Wars Knights of the Republic, wasn't it? Connor?
Yes, it was.
Anyway, Star Wars: The Old Republic is the one we played, and we knew the producer.
One of the major
Gordon Walton.
influences, yeah.
Gordon Walton was, and he told us stories about how Electronic Arts was getting ready to kill the project because they'd run over budget and all that. And finally, he and the other producer talked over and said, they need someone to sacrifice as an excuse for why the project's run late. And Gordon claims he volunteered to basically make himself the scapegoat and got fired, but the project got out that way.
It was that EA kept adding on more and more features they wanted, like the voice acting and things like that, that just was going the budget up.
And then they didn't understand why it wasn't getting out on time and why the budget was climbing.
Yeah, we haven't been through that before. Not at all.
We went to a game designer workshop where Gordon was sitting there, going through the dialogue features and so on, and it looked pretty cool. So we eventually played the game, and
let's put it this way: it's my second favorite RPG. I don't consider it to be a massively multiplayer. That was the problem. It was not really a multiplayer game. It was an absolutely wonderful solo game that just caught me because it was all about the characters.
And for a long time, Dungeon Master was our first and best. But if you look back on it, it was good.
It was an entertaining game at the time. I can play Star Wars again and again. After I forget all of the characters, because I played every
I keep being tempted to go back to it. But yeah, every character has their own storyline that they go through. And
with all their
and
followers.
Their companions. Yeah,
so I can play it for until the first expansion, and then I say I don't want to play it anymore, because they destroyed the characters.
I should start over from the beginning.
No, up there, up there. Now, after that, now Spielberg. Yeah, Spielberg.
Spielberg was revolutionary in that.
Okay, you can finish it.
It was, I think, the first well-known director, this is Bill Kuhn, to portray first contact with extraterrestrials as something amazing and wonderful and life-changing. Close Encounters, E.T., The Dig, 8mm, I don't know 8mm, Indiana Jones, and The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, etc.
Aliens were always portrayed as something to be feared. Yes, this is true. Spielberg and Lucas both.
Oh, before that, aliens really.
Yes, they were in general, and I hated that. But Star Trek did it first.
Yeah, Close Encounters was the one where you really feel the love.
Well, yeah, but you also fear that.
There's the fear.
Close Encounters makes absolutely no sense as a story if you look at it. But I mean, why do they hypnotize these people to come on and be zombies on their ship? And, it's not really, but it's a fun movie. But Star Trek, I would argue, was really the one that said aliens are aliens and people. But you're right.
And people for Kirk to have sex with.
And then, of course, Klaatu Barada Nikto was the movie that was basically,
everyone feared the alien and wanted to attack it, and it was
alien was trying to enforce world peace before humans destroyed each other. But they were the one that popularized it.
We don't want peace enforced on us. People would rather all die than have somebody else tell them what to do.
Right. Anyone here read the Star Wars comics and or novels? I did not actually read those. Oh, yeah, there we go. Rich Gen X to your Theseus.
The ship of Theseus, all the rotted parts would
fall apart.
Second hit the sea.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be much of a ship, would it?
Well, in that case, the ocean would be the ship.
Right. Star Trek had a lot of hopeful meetings with aliens' first contact. Yes. I read the Star Wars Legacy. That was awesome.
But if every part of the ship of Theseus has been replaced, and Theseus is no longer the captain, then it's really the ship of whoever's the new captain.
Oh, okay, fine. I can only think of one such character from one such story, and it was written in ancient Greece. I asked the Quest for Glory 2 dervish about God, and he told me there was no reason to use that word in the game. Yeah. Oh, and the Darth Maul comic.
Well, that was, of course, Hebrew doesn't have any vowels.
Okay.
They use diacritical marks or whatever for where vowels go. But there's the superstitions about you must never actually say or write the name of God. And therefore, none of us know what the actual name is.
So therefore, we don't have the name of God.
Yeah, but people worship him /it/her anyway.
Yep.
/they.
Yep. Okay, let's see.
Contact and arrival.
Book-wise, I also read Shadows of the Empire, was really good. Oh, yeah, I don't remember. I probably did read one of the Star Wars books. They were not memorable enough to continue to write it. I enjoyed the new Thrawn trilogy myself. Well, those are supposed to be really good, yeah. I just didn't come around to it. And Spidey says, when it comes to voice acting, did you keep in mind which places had specific accents? Like the Cat people had accents for where they came from. Yes, I hear all of my characters in my head. So the accent, the way they speak, that's how I can write them. Because
she's officially admitted she hears voices in her head.
I do. All of these characters are compartmentalized in my mind as to where they came from and who they are and what they sound like. So that's when I write them out them. I've been thinking for the past week. Well, generally, yes, I'm sick, but that doesn't keep me from thinking. Would I concentrate?
Kazakh Void says you do know the name of God. I'm sorry, I rudely interrupted.
Yes, you did. I was trying to say, I spent nights thinking about Ifeo's story, actually, right now, and who Ifeo is, what his home life was like, and how he is behaving here at the School for Heroes, what is upsetting him about it, and where his culture clashes with what he is experiencing. So I basically role-play the characters. So, all right. Flash Gordon had fun aliens. Yes. Mostly they had bad guys, though. 1954 was like early Star Wars-ish serial.
Like, maybe? Sure. Flash Gordon in 1954 was like early Star Wars serial show.
Okay. The only thing Star Wars outside the original trilogy was the Timothy Zahn books and True Sid Bakura. Yes.
So the most of the science fiction, I was systematically going through the library, reading everything alphabetical by author's name. So Asimov was prominent, but ones I really liked were Gordon R. Dixon and Heinlein, and eventually Laumer. I think was about as far as I got. The Retief stories, but I had to point to that. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
No.
Those were the best science fiction books when I was a kid. Anyway, Cosmic Void 3 says, you do know the name of the God, just don't pronounce it in Hebrew. You do pronounce it in English, though, Jehovah. I've seen it as Yahweh, also.
Yes. In Latin, it begins with a... Okay.
Is that an L? Or with an L?
And Rich says, we all hear voices in our head. You only have a problem if you have a physical fight with the voices in your head. Yeah.
Stone him!
Really.
I'm being repressed.
Okay, so...
Shall we have a game? Shall we have a game?
We could.
We haven't done a game in a while. And I was telling Lori we should give a fabulous prize for our first game in a while, but we didn't really come up with one. So
you can go.
It'll probably be one of our digital codes from...
Well, we don't have that many left, honestly.
No, we've got.
Yeah,
We
all right,
got
we
meeps.
could give a physical game thing out, and
We got meeps.
if they live outside of the country, because
Then
we
let
can't
me give them a
afford
code.
it.
We'll just give you a picture of the physical thing.
Yeah,
We've done that before.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
There, something in the theme.
All right, something in the theme. We have a piece of art that Lori picked up at some science fiction convention.
From Melody Rondeau. And this is called, from the wrong series, because we're dealing with Star Trek, this is Galactic
Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Which
That's
is
from Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, I see. So it's a drunk astronaut
yes.
fighting fire your gun.
Yes, fire
All right, we're
is
going to give
blasting.
away a Melody Rondeau print.
And it's Pan. That's the other
Oh,
trick.
it's Pan.
There. Yes. See,
Oh, it's a Pan Galactic.
Galactic. Gargle.
Oh, darn,
Blaster.
that's too good a pun. We're going to give that away?
Yes, we
We'll
are.
never see
Because
it
we'll
again.
never see it again.
We have so much stuff that we
Yes.
have more than we
So
need.
we will give that away.
We will give that away to the winner of this game. Belixar says, Meeps are awesome. Mine wins the Hero U baseball cap. So what I do? I brought up this thing called the Phrase Flummoxer, courtesy of Cheeseness, based on a game that Lori developed in Photoshop. And it's sort of like Hangman, sort of like Wheel of Fortune and stuff. How do we want to play it this time? Do we want to take turns since we're doing it as a real contest? I guess so. We'll do a queue. Should I do a poll? We should make up our minds. Let's do a queue. I am going to open up entry into a queue, and people in the queue will have the opportunity to guess letters in the phrase that is too big. Oh, it got the color wrong. It was supposed to use that red color.
Are you going to work it?
Well, so we're doing the queue, and I thought I did an exclamation. Did I not tell you to do exclamation point play? Is my thing integrated?
I didn't
Are
think
we
it
logged
was.
in? Maybe we're not logged in. Connect.
Okay.
Connect. Oh my. Oh, okay. Well, we're not gonna have a queue because
No,
it's
I was thinking we wouldn't. 'cause it's
chatbot
gonna-
doesn't work because chatbot insists that I reauthorize a record file. A Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster was in Hugo's House of Horrors,
Okay.
but Q is kind of a jerk, as opposed to W. There's no W in Hebrew. Whereas the W in German is pronounced like the English V. Wir sind, we are, spelled W-I-R. And the V, of course, in German is pronounced like an F. Just to confuse people.
Fear.
1, 2, 3, vier.
Yes.
Fear is V-I-E-R and it's pronounced fear.
I would have not have known that. But I
so,
know how to count. I love my meep. We love our meeps too.
So, which is was why it was so funny in one of the Star Trek movies when was it Chekhov says nuclear vessels. So he did the reverse of pronouncing W as V and instead pronounced V as W. But I don't think there's any justification in Cyrillic or in Russian.
Yeah, here's our meep. Still
here's
decorated for Easter.
All right, here's our Easter meep.
Yeah. With his socks on and his early things.
He's got fuzzy socks and he's got rabbit ears.
Yeah.
Easter meep.
So yes, we do keep our meeps.
Meeps are many purpose. Anyway, so this game here that I've brought up, people are going to guess letters, and you're going to type it into chat, and the first person to guess the entire phrase will type the entire phrase.
Once you get a letter correct, yes.
The
Universal Translator.
No, since it's free for all, no, I don't think we can enforce that.
All right, fine. Once you figure it out,
Once you
type
figure
it
it out, type in the entire phrase, and if you get the entire phrase correct, you will win the Melody Rondeau print.
Yes.
Or a scanned image of the Melody Rondeau print if you're outside the U.S.
Yes. I'm pretty sure this is an original. Honestly, this was the era when she was selling originals.
Wow.
So it's not just
Not just a print. It's a Melody
It is
Monroe
the original Melody Monroe
colored drawing.
colored
Okay, let's get a start.
drawing.
Let's get some letters for
All
this
right,
phrase.
start it out. Start trying to fill us out.
Everybody, start. Give me letters. N.
N. So we
Okay, we'll try an N.
There is an N.
Now, the way this game works is there is
Oh.
no. Don't worry about it. This is apparently the default background. There is no N before that.
Okay. All right, we got a T.
A T, a K, a T, a K. There are no Ks.
There is
An I. And an X. There are no X's.
No X's. Okay.
Does that mean that Murdoctopus and Freelance are permanently eliminated?
No, but.
But don't type anything for a while because
Yeah.
you got it wrong.
Oh.
Oh! There's an O.
Yep. Okay, people. Let's see.
Keep going. More
Everybody
letters.
can guess.
Free for all the letters.
I mean,
And
and everybody. You
eventually
can't go
somebody
wrong.
will be. Eventually somebody will be able to guess this.
E and an E.
And this is
And there were EEs.
this is some relation either to our
Oh,
work or
yes.
the theme or something.
Yeah. All right. We've got 2 O's and 2 E's. And you can keep guessing the same letters because we're not done yet.
Yeah, we're not like Wheel of Fortune. We don't give you all the instances of a letter.
A G.
G.
Mm-hmm.
A.
A. Ah.
Oh, Kenita, pick the first letter.
L.
L. There could be any number of A's past that.
Yep. And this is a quote. So let's see if you can figure out what this
I didn't
quote
put
is.
quotation marks around, but it is a
You
quote.
did.
Oh, S.
S. And an
Oh,
R.
they have a word. R.
R.
R. R.
D. Yeah, I know. H.
H. A lot better.
M. M. Mm-hmm. Okay, people. See if you can figure it
That
out.
isn't how you spell Mordor.
No. All right. S and a W. Ah, there we go.
3
Ah,
words.
yes. And probably a third with the T.
T. Another T.
There is still another T in it. There are 3 T's so far. A C.
And we're not just teasing.
Ah,
Oh, they're not
no
a C. No
C's.
C's. No C's or K's or X's.
An S.
S. Is
Yeah.
it S? Nobody wants to buy a vowel for the obvious. F.
H. Yeah, let's fill out that one. All right, another H.
E. Maybe we should
E.
make a no vowels rule for a while. Wanna do that?
Nah, doesn't matter. We're just getting through it. All right. We got the first line of B.
Pardon my noise.
B.
BCU.
BCU.
She's already been eliminated.
Okay. Oh well.
Community should not get us the letter. It's already been eliminated.
J.
No J's.
No J's. P.
No more. No
No
P's.
P's. Interesting. You never know what will be.
I thought somebody guessed Q. Let's see.
Well, no, we haven't. V. Let's get rid of the weird words. No V. Uh-huh. Yeah, well.
But you got to get the old phrase. Oh, for a minute it says OSU. That's because he's going out to look up the answer.
We'd have a hard time with this one. Was there a Z in this? No, you haven't done Z yet.
Nobody's guessed. Oh, there's a Z.
Yeah, Z.
And no
No
Z's.
Z's.
A.
A. Yep.
Yep. B.
There was a B. Q. There we have your Q.
There's a B there in the last line, so there are no B's before that.
Oh,
no
and there
Q's.
are no Q's. No, that's because I picked an invalid letter.
Oh, okay, good,
fine.
good plan.
L.
Okay. L.
Okay.
It's management. What's the term?
Self-elimination. I don't
No,
know.
I don't know.
Okay, people, there's still a lot of letters to find. Everybody out there can
It's
pick a
showing
letter.
great honor that he was sitting
Yeah.
out because that was the previous rule we mentioned
Yeah.
without us needing to endorse it. As my sweet mother always said, son, if the... Maybe.
Yeah, and you
Could've
have
been.
to fill those words out.
Could be son of the gun.
R.
Oh. R.
Yep, there's
There's
still
one
an
on
R.
the third line. So the rules, there are no R's before that.
L.
There's one down there.
G. Another G. Is
And
there another
there's an
G?
F. Oh, no F's.
No F's.
No more F's. There
No
was
more
one-
F's, yeah. Okay.
There was
fine.
only one F in the entire phrase.
A. Kenita says A. Did you get her S?
I got it.
Oh, okay.
It's on the second line.
Okay, yeah, I see it is marked for being
It's
the last one.
highlighted in yellow, the most recent
Okay.
one.
Yes, there's some nice. I see. Our background went entirely black.
Better
from
than
that
gray.
Interesting. All right. Brainiac's in the running again. He says N.
There's, I thought I hit an N. Is there, do you see it? Yes, there's
Okay,
an N.
there's an N. And an L for Murderoctopus.
Oh, no more
no
L's.
more L's.
We've used up the 3 L's.
All right. There's still a lot of blank spaces.
Kenita says, I.
And there it is.
Yep, you got it. D.
D.
It's an old treasure hunter. Or what do they call the hunts? Something hunt.
Not correct.
MIT.
All right. S.
The coefficients.
Sun.
Sun is, in fact, a word.
Yes.
Short for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Call it clearly.
Song of Solomon.
O.
Oh.
Okay. Now we have a lot. I mean,
A lot of letters to go. Come on,
yeah,
let's get
and
more
you can
people in
fill-
here.
fill
We
out
need more
those-
people.
Fill those things out.
More people, more people.
E. Okay.
Everyone
there we have
participate.
another word.
It says we have 24 viewers. And that means that we should
Some
have
of you are just
at
lurking.
least 12 people doing this. Son of
W.
W and A.
Okay.
I don't know if I got the E. I did, I think.
All right. N and A. Yeah. Okay. We're up to date. Up to so far.
Almost. Not, we're missing a letter.
Yeah.
There's the Y.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay.
We have the first 2 lines filled in. Can one guess the rest of it?
All right. A P.
A P. There are no P's.
Okay. A Y. A third Y, actually.
There is not a third Y.
There's only 2 Y's.
Only 2 Y's.
T.
There's another T.
And
There's
an
an
O.
O.
And
There's an A.
Okay.
It's a game of tag.
Okay. And
S.
S.
Oh!
Okay.
That's a interesting word. I thought it was hot tag. Sort of like in
And E.
E and an O.
Okay. S.
Can anyone guess the source of the phrase now?
I. Well, they still have to fill it out. They haven't
H.
filled it out. Yeah,
If you knew where it came from, you might be able to get the rest.
maybe.
Definitely
Okay.
Star Wars.
Somebody thinks it's Star Wars. I don't know if I would get a Star Wars. A. R.
R A.
W.
Raw. They spelled out raw.
Huh.
Hostage is gold. Oh,
O.
nope. It's hostage is good. I'll try those. Skip. Another O. Good. 2 are better.
Got it.
Or butter.
Okay.
Let's see if Brainiac has it.
Okay. T.
T. You got the last line, Brainiac? That's good. Did you have to look it up?
I give 2 minutes. All right.
Okay,
you
2 minutes.
won.
It's now 3:21.
You guys got to finish it out so you don't let Brainiac finish
Oh,
it. Rich
E.
is working on it.
both in there. Where'd the E go? Oh, the E was the
These
third line.
are- yeah.
Finish the third line.
Mm-hmm. All right, people. Can you finish this before Rich or Brainiac finish it?
T.
Okay.
Faster you get letters, better chance you have of beating Brainiac.
Yeah. E. Okay.
E.
Mm-hmm.
Another word, 2 or better.
R.
R. A.
A.
F.
F.
No more F's.
No more F's. I'll
We've been at F's for a while. The first time we call it one extra word, which threw me for a bit.
Okay.
M.
Well, this is from the internet. I hate to
I
say it.
typed it in according to Lois Krantz. There are no more R's. We've run out of R's. Word octopus is out for a while. W. Another W. Nope, no more W's. Yeah, there was a just in the quote.
Don't know.
Not the way Lori read it to
Not,
me.
not the way I found it.
I transcribed it for Lori reading, so possible word got left out.
As I
but not
said,
likely.
it's the internet. But if you can remember it, finish it out, type it in, and win the game.
Oh, I got it as well. Oh, you got it as well, K-Dubs?
Yeah, A.
A. OSU Brainiac is offering for K-Dubs to win.
G. You other people can still win.
Anybody who
Good
types
bullet.
in the entire phrase can.
I did, but giving others a chance. G.
Ah.
Okay. All
It's
right.
3:23. OSU can
Oh.
type in the phrase anytime you want.
And?
And
Ooh, it's coming up. New colors. What do you know? We usually don't use the
well,
background.
normally in this mode, yeah.
D.
D.
There's yet 3
Yep.
Ds. All right, I'll give you 2 more in honor of K-Dubs.
No, I just don't think it's going to go for 2 more.
Can you guys figure it out? The
Or
rest
do
of
you
you
mean 2
can
more
be-
guesses?
Yeah, 2 more guesses.
2 more letters. If you want to type in the answer, you better hurry.
T.
What's a T? How come Kanita's giving you all the letters? Nobody else is helping.
Ah, but Belzar says,
As my sword mother always said, go.
son, if 1 hostage is good, 2 are better, and 3, well, that's good business. And there it
I
is.
think you have it. And because of K-Dubs and OSU Brainiac deferring.
All right, bye. No, don't reveal.
All right, who said it?
Who
Where?
said it? And where is it from?
And what's the tie-in to Quest for Glory?
3 questions. Can you answer all 3? That I will answer, Brainiac says. There it is. Their questions. We have it.
Hondo Onaka.
Onaka.
And Hondo Onaka is one of those people with the things like tentacles that come out of their head, right?
No,
No?
no. He's one of those things that's
Oh,
he's
that's right,
another
you showed me
race.
the
Yeah, I
pictures.
saw you the picture.
voiced by Jim Cummings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can do that. For the Clone Wars series. There's Hondo.
Yes. Apparently that's a version of Hondo from the Disney that we didn't actually
Yeah,
see.
from the Galaxy's Edge, where we went on one of the rides.
Which we didn't actually.
No, we
From
didn't
the Clone
actually
Wars
ride.
series and from Rebels. He was also in Rebels.
Kind of looks like Jack Sparrow, at least in the mobile game.
He doesn't though. I mean, look at his. Those aren't tentacles. Those are more like
No, those
horns.
are teeth.
No, they're not teeth. They look like teeth.
They
but
look
they're
like shark's
always-
teeth.
Well, I know, but I think they're actually,
Yes,
chitin.
had to look it up. Yes, Boris Stovich.
Okay.
Boris Stovich, Jim Cummings.
So yes, there was a tie-in. It isn't
And
just.
so Lori said, well, Jim Cummings, he was, that was just the other stuff we looked up.
Yeah.
Said, Jim Cummings, wasn't he, did he do something in World of Warcraft?
Well, it seems like Jim Cummings did something in about just freaking everything.
See all. Okay, so here are Jim Cummings' works in 21 to 23, 22, 22. 2011, 2001, beep, 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 beep. Are we done 1991 yet? Close.
96.
Mid-90s. He was very active all throughout the 90s. So it's taking me forever to get to 91. Here you go, 1991.
I think he could. I think
The Wizard of Oz. What?
Well, he must have been able to.
He was the Cowardly Lion and the Flying Monkey in a
video
cartoon version of the Wizard of Oz.
I guess he imitates Winnie the Pooh because he's got. I mean,
so his first credit is Scooby-Doo Show, 1978.
Yeah, the Winnie the Pooh voice originally was Sterling Holiday, and I think he mimicked that voice for the rest of Pooh, wherever.
Winnie the Pooh and a Day for Eeyore.
I love to remind folks that this is the beginning of the great game voice acting career of Jennifer Hale as Katrina. Exactly.
Indeed.
But never under. I mean, we should all applaud and be thrilled with these voice actors who brought things to life.
1988, I went to work for Sierra. In 1989, we released Hero's Quest. Was subtitle How to Be a Hero. Is that it? No, So You Want to Be a Hero.
So You Want to Be a Hero.
Boy,
we're going to call it How to Be a Hero. It was
the book.
Ken Nishaway who came to us and said
it should be So You Want to Be a Hero.
And so
and of course, Diane, what's her name, had the So You Want to Be a Wizard?
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Dwayne. I was trying to think.
Diane Dwayne, yes.
Earlier today, or last night, at any rate.
And
funny thing,
so it might have been.
I didn't remember a name until you did, yeah.
1990s. So in 1990s, Jim was very busy.
Yeah.
Aladdin 2, The Return of Jafar. He played Razul. I don't know Razul.
No. So at any rate.
And finally,
Quest for Glory 4 has some seriously top-tier talent, and so does Quest for Glory 5.
So somewhere in there is Quest for Glory, and I can't even find it without searching. Glory. 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 Quest for Glory 4, Shadows of Darkness. Borisovich. 1994.
I prefer the Shadows cast, but Dragonfire has Steve Blum and Bo Billingsley, which is just hilarious to a fan of Cowboy Bebop.
So World of Warcraft Dragonflight, it was Tong the Fixer. I have no idea who that is or whether he's even in the part we've seen so far. Shadowlands, additional voices. That's nice, wonder who. And then we get to World of Warcraft Legion, Runis the Shamed. Runis was one of the most memorable characters in all of World of Warcraft. Incredible character who is addicted to crystal energy and will do anything to get his crystal fix. And Javi was the avatar of the god, wasn't he, Odin?
Oh, yes, yeah, of course he was. Because I recognized his voice when we were playing it, yeah.
Yeah, so he said, "Oh, that's Jim Cummings."
Yeah.
Javi.
All right. So Kanita asks to the metaverse there, can Quest for Glory be loaded into late model Macintoshes, the originals?
No.
Yeah, that has to be the audience message. That we don't need to show the.
I was trying to get back to Flummoxer.
Okay.
So the big reveal. Hondo Anakin. The Clone Wars was the answer that. There we go. I finally got that.
Yeah.
Clone Wars series. 1 Austin is good. 2 are better. And 3, well, that's good business.
And if you didn't watch the
So where was the word just supposed to fit in that?
Yeah.
That's good business?
Just good business would have worked fine. Hondo Ohnaka is the pirate in the Clone Wars.
She might have said that. I might have mistyped it.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the quote that I had it. He is quite the character. He is villainous, and he is a stinker, and yet he has a lot of good qualities. And he's fun. He's as fun as you get for characters. That's why I like the Clone Wars so well, is because it had really, really interesting characters.
So, games that came out around the time of Heroes Quest or, late 80s things, often do not run on modern Windows PCs, because they are 16-bit games and they do not run on 32 or 64-bit processors.
Yeah. So is there anybody that has an emulator for...
Ken the games you played on a Macintosh.
Macintosh.
I do not know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Sydney might be able to tell us.
I'm
she's
glad
more
the
of a
Clone Wars did good. I remember the...
Gendy?
Or Gendy.
Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars miniseries. Enjoyed that a lot more for different reasons.
Okay, that was a book or a comic? I think it must...
Miniseries.
Huh? Yeah, but was it a comic book? I think it must have been. I think that's Gendy's field. Don't know though. No, it was a cartoon? I didn't see that. I know there's a Mac port of the VGA version of... that probably... yeah. The Quest for Glory 1, yeah. The
So
VGA
1 and 3 or later should perhaps run. Certainly when we were doing 4, we had a major Mac aficionado team, Frank Kane, and he made sure that everything was Mac compatible. And on 5, our lead programmer, Eric Langell, was a Mac fanatic.
Oh, yeah, and that's what... I know that Quest for Glory 5 played on a Mac.
And we had a problem right before the game was about to ship.
While he was in Orlando at Disney World or played bridge, one of the two.
Yeah, played bridge mostly, but I did get one day to Disney World. That Eric discovered that the thermonuclear blast spell
on the
effect,
Macintosh
crashed the Macintosh.
Yeah.
And so it did such a good job of blowing up the world, it blew up the player's computer. So he ended up stripping that, even though it worked fine on the PC.
Yep. It was a...
so that is why there is not animation of the thermonuclear blast.
Basically, it started particle effect in the center of the screen, and it just spread out to the entire screen.
It was impressive.
It was.
Sure, nobody got to see it.
Yep.
Except us.
But yes, there was a 20-episode miniseries of hand-drawn animation just called Clone Wars. Damn! I have not run across that. Shame, yeah. It was particularly well known for our first introduction to Grievous, really. And he was far more impressive there. It's explained his state in EP3 as window force crushing his chest. Well, he's an interesting character. I really liked Grievous. I liked his voice. He was the Grievous was the...
Darth Grievous, right?
No. Nope. Grievous was at the point where we see Grievous, he is a robot, effectively. By definitions, he's a cyborg. Okay. Because there is something left of the original Grievous in that body, but there ain't much left.
I'm all stuffy, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
This should not be unrecorded.
Oh, well. Wikipedia, thank you.
Oh, because the sound of it.
Wow.
Hey, we're back! Those who stayed with us?
Yeah, wow. Okay, interesting. Cartoon Network. Damn. We're looking at this, actually, desktop. For those people that did not
Star Wars, Clone Wars, 2003 TV series.
Yeah, I certainly did not see
that. Not to be confused with Star Wars, The Clone Wars, 2008 TV series. So in Wizardry, the second Wizardry game was subtitled The Night of Diamonds. I think it was the Night of Diamonds. And there is a puzzle right at the end of the game that you have to guess. And I figured out, I got that. It's Night of Diamonds. Typed that in. Didn't work. And I spent hours trying everything I could think of until I finally got a spoiler from someplace and learned that the answer was The Night of Diamonds. If you didn't type in the word the, it didn't work.
Okay, and that does reflect here.
It relates greatly to the entirely different series Clone Wars and The Clone Wars.
Yes, it says that in that.
Go.
It says in this article, which I scanned, that this one, Clone Wars, is not canon, but The Clone Wars is canon. And, well, it was a pilot for the half-hour CGI, The Clone Wars. And I wasn't crazy about the CGI version, the appearance of the character design and that at first for the Clone Wars. But you get used to it after a while.
And it's an interesting idea that the clones are the tools of the so-called good guys.
Yeah,
And,
that was the big shock.
And the droids, which are not made of people, are the bad guys.
Huh. Voices of Tom Kane, which we had in 5, I think.
So the ones that were actually alive were the cannon fodder of the supposed good guys.
Yeah.
Did we say Bellixar won that contest?
We did, but Brainiac recorded it.
Bellixar, you'll have to send something to support@HeroU-net. So this is, we'll just say @Bellixar. Please send email to support@Hero.
In Canada, though, does that mean I get a scan and send?
Net.
Well, it depends.
Canada's close enough.
Canada. Yeah.
Get your prize. It'll cost us an arm and a leg, but that's okay. We've got many arms and many legs.
You could see how well we're doing with them, too.
Yeah, well, it won't keep us healthy. But it will let us afford Disneyland tickets.
Oh, were you going to show off all the photos of...
I was. That was what this was going to be. And then we don't have to talk anymore.
Right.
Lori took some pictures when we were at Disney. I did too, actually, but Lori actually knows how to use Photoshop, so...
Actually, I didn't do too much for it. My current camera really makes me happy.
All right.
How did you set it up?
I don't know. It's somewhere. It's probably you put them somewhere.
Oh, you didn't put it in a
I didn't
blog?
get it done. I told you that.
Oh, okay, fine.
We discussed this. Was it in blog articles? 2023 photos?
Discuss is a too broad a term.
I
yes.
informed you.
Yes,
that
you
I
might
was
have
going
informed me, but I didn't
that I
hear
was
it.
going to do the blog article tomorrow rather than
okay.
screw up the stream.
Okay, fine. Those are there, but you can't show it very well. How do you show it without a...
We'll find out. Desktop. Let's see what happens when I click on something. Okay. ST.
That's it. Yeah, see, ST is your keyword.
ST stands for Star Wars?
Yes, it does in my mind.
ST, Star Wars.
No, Star Tours is what it was.
Star Tours. That's the name of the stream.
Yes.
It's made full screen.
There we go, an alien planet in Disneyland. Okay, there is not an alien. That is a droid in a tub. It was really kind of interesting.
It's probably an oil tub.
Yeah, most things off on the left. There was a cage with some old droids.
It was the Star Wars look that is really a very low-tech look of the tools, weapons, and so on.
Yeah, here specifically low-tech. This
oh,
was
rusty.
This is what Star Wars was really, the idea of just people cobbling together stuff and nothing is slick. It was really different from the original, movies where, or Star Wars, Trek for that matter, where everything was sticking.
Glossy and futuristic, yes. So in these Star Wars prequels, Anakin builds his own land speeders and such, and is mechanical engineer.
And here we have the world. So the world building, Disneyland did a very interesting job at building this area to look like it.
And a few years ago, we went to Universal Studios Hollywood that had the Harry Potter, Hogwarts, and what's the town called?
Hogsmeade or whatever.
Hogsmeade? No, something Mead.
It was Hogs. And so, and no, they
Not
did
Diagon.
not.
There was a Diagon Alley. There was
Yes,
a Diagon
there
Alley.
was, but there was mostly.
But they recreated the town that's near Hogwarts
Yes.
and Diagon Alley and so on. It was amazingly immersive.
Right. So this was Disney's
version.
answer to that. There's this. Speaking of Star Tours, there's a huge mural across from the Star Tours thing
Which has been there for years. It's one of the older
Years,
rides. That's
yes.
in Tomorrowland.
in Tomorrowland.
There's
but-
also Space Mountain, which I think they rebranded as Star Wars something, didn't they?
yeah, well, it's being rebranded
I
right
thought
now.
it was. Okay.
And just this wonderful mural on the wall. Yes, cobbled together pieces of futuristic materials, exactly. Back to the actual Star Wars area. This was very cool. It seems to be a loading dock. It's a spaceport, is what their theme is here.
And again, a plug first. Star Wars: The Old Republic, as they really did a great job of capturing the feel of the movie scenes, and there are different planets in the game. So Hoth is the ice
Oh,
planet.
going back to the game.
Yeah, going back to the game.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
Yes. So this reminds us not so much of Star Wars,
the movies, but of
of
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yeah, it's like coming to life. So I really think it's more Star.
This is much older.
Yeah, this predates
This
the whole
is-
Star Tours
This
thing.
is inspired by 50s science fiction and space opera, and
Yeah.
that's in the entrance to Tomorrowland.
And here we have the Millennium Falcon, or at least the tail end. And it was very cool. I mean, you could see this is
Did
the.
you have a farther out shot from it?
No, I
Shame.
couldn't get a real. I mean,
Oh, I did.
besides it was up, and you didn't get a good one of that one. I don't think.
I
You
got
can
some
look
great
for something.
shots,
Oh,
yeah.
all right, that's it for that. Those were the best of the best for our Star Wars. But believe me, I took a lot of pictures there. Yeah. Aw, baby gazelle. Yes, it was a baby gazelle. It's actually a. I don't think it's a dick.
Let's see. Here's one of my pictures.
Oh, okay, that's good. I have a
On the cell
picture of
phone?
that one too, but lighting wasn't too good because it was a bright sunny day, which is terrible.
Nope,
for
I'm
these
trying to
things.
get the right
yeah,
angle on
there
this.
you go. You've got fine of that.
Ship off in the distance.
So yeah,
Oh, here's a close up of the same ship. Trying to not get glare on this too much. Nope, there's no
so
good angle.
yeah.
There.
So a Disney review of the Star Wars area, Star Wars Galaxy's
This one's
Edge
all
is
the
what
people.
it's called. Was that it was very visually impressive, but honestly, I really missed having stormtroopers marching through. If it had the stormtroopers, if it had the characters there, it would have felt much more real.
And terrifying.
So as it is, it felt like a backdrop, like going to, seeing the sets of a movie without the movie being on.
The entrance to the area.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the big. So.
I should upload this
So
on stage,
we did
shouldn't I?
not actually go on the two rides that are supposed to be the main rides for the thing. But we did go on Star Tours. And, that turned out nice.
Yeah, this is one of the most important Galaxy's Edge photos.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, at Disneyland, we went on. The
And
ones
feet.
we did go on
Excellent
was.
shot.
First, we went on the Haunted Mansion, because that's my favorite.
And because the line was short.
And because the line was short. That was really
Relatively
the key.
speaking, 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, the key was, could we stand in line for that amount of time? So we did that. We wound up doing Pirates of the Caribbean, which is Corey's favorite thing at the thing.
Yep.
You don't have to show them; they're not easy to see on.
Yeah, you can't see it very
Oh,
well.
I
This
see.
is
That's
a
a
this is a
stall.
this is
That's
a window,
Yeah,
store window that had
that's
some
the
of the
one I did
stuff.
the picture of today,
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, I took 3 shots of that.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to go the review of all the rides we went on.
This one
Yeah, we did. We went on the steamboat.
on the Mark Twain
Yeah, exciting stuff. We went on.
on a lovely lake that just gives you the feeling of 1950s Central America.
We went
Of course,
on.
Twain's older than that, but
Well, yeah. We went on the Jiminy Cricket and Pinocchio ride from ages and ages ago. We walked through the stupid Cinderella's castle, which I haven't been through
there's
for
my test.
beyond. Oh, I see. Yeah, you
Definitely negative.
good for you. Although C and should
Yes.
be COVID. Damn, it's
Yes.
so inverted.
C on the COVID test should mean you have
You
COVID.
got COVID, yes. So then the final ride we went on was the train. And we waited and we waited. That's probably.
We decided as a spur of the moment before we leave, let's go on the train ride around the park. And
That's probably where we got this from.
yeah.
Because it
So
was
we
waiting
stood in line for close to an hour
Yes.
to get on this train and sit there. I couldn't find. I had lost my mask at this point.
Yep.
And was next to a person on oxygen, so I sure hope that I didn't get them sick. And went on the ride around the park and then left. But it was just like, that was the ride that it took forever to get on. And
Yeah.
mostly it was that people were riding the train and were not getting off.
Yep. So I would not recommend. It's still the same train that it's been since the 60s.
I don't know. I felt like the backdrops are more colorful. That
It looked like
they've been enhanced.
They have been enhanced because if they had been in the 60s, they're the same style, they've just upgraded the colors a little. Otherwise, they would have been faded out. So yeah,
What about this picture?
that's not a science fiction.
I know, but it could be.
It could be, but you're not sharing it, so
I know.
they can't see that one. Anyway,
I will. I will share it.
Yeah.
There's a picture Lori took somewhere or other. It's really cool.
Downtown
San Diego?
Oceanside. Oceanside.
Oh, Oceanside,
That's at
downtown
Oce-
Oceanside.
That's
Where-
at.
Is that the letter O?
No, it's a statue by the pier, and it's of a surfer, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just an abstract one. Yes. So, at any rate, would I recommend wasting your money going to the Star Wars at Disneyland?
Oh, that's kind of up to the degree of fan you have. I mean, it's a nice day of escape. I would recommend wearing a mask. A few people at the park had masks. Most of the people working there did, but most of the clients did not. And it's really foolish to go anywhere in public these days without a mask. You know, the pandemic may be officially over, but
There's still stuff out there.
even if COVID had been 100% eradicated, which hasn't happened, I always picked up respiratory illnesses going to science fiction conventions.
Yeah.
So this is nostalgic
Food.
convention grunt.
The first place we ate, because the other big tour of Disneyland was
Is the culinary
food.
tour?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
First place we went was the Tiki lounge area of the, and
Tiki.
room. Yes, where we had
We got a smoothie, wasn't it?
no, we had the pineapple whip
Oh, okay. Dole pineapple
from
whip.
Dole, sponsored by Dole Pineapples. What a surprise! And we had
And it was good.
a really weird bao.
Yeah.
It was it was not really sweet, like
Yeah, I'm used to getting
pork buns,
steamed
pork
pork buns,
buns.
but this was a savory chicken and herb bun.
Yeah, with the mint in it. Yes, that tiki room in the tiki room. Yes,
We didn't actually go inside
there's
there,
a
but
reason why I don't actually go to that room because it is just like a small world. I do not go to things that will worm their way into my brain for the next year.
but I have to say that after 50 years of hating It's a Small World theme because it would get into her head, that we went by a small world, they were playing the theme, and Lori resisted.
Yes, and it's beautiful. That kind of bao you described is actually quite common in Chinese dim sum.
It was delicious.
It was much better than the regular one, which is just that sweet pork.
Yeah, that's very sickeningly sweet if they do it wrong.
Corey likes it, but
I kind of like it. I like sugar.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
I like the pork buns, but it's really hard for the balance to be right in that. And this was just the right amount of filling, and the
No.
steamed bun was nice.
I hear that tune on a program on a classical music radio station. Only way I knew of it since I was in my youth. So then we went to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and we had the Rondo roast,
Yes,
which
the Ronda Roasters. Pardon my death.
yes,
Um,
which was basically a hot dog.
we had
shaped
read
sausage.
that it was a sausage with pork, with
Uh-huh.
pulled pork on a hot dog roll, and it was
It's
actually
not on a hot dog.
I'm
It's
sorry, what
on
is
a
it?
pita bread.
okay pita bread, yeah,
Yes.
and it was a sausage and some veggies. It had a nice set of coleslaw and stuff on
Yeah.
it, and it was actually very tasty.
It was it rates up there very high. It's something I'd probably eat again.
in a
However,
fast food way.
we had 2 drinks from that area, and both of them
Or weird.
were in the diabetics range of sweetness. So it was like, do not drink this under any circumstances if you do not like something that's overwhelmingly sweet. And even Corey found them sweet, which says a lot. Chinese cuisine targeted towards a Western audience, yes, exactly, tends to be overly sweet, more so than it would be an authentic Chinese cuisine. Barbecued pork is brushed with honey and supposed to have a sweet taste, but not as sweet as actual honey.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, we're used to tourist trap.
I've had a wide variety of pork barrels with different degrees of
Yes.
sweetness, and I actually prefer it more subtle and more savory.
Right, and we are in the heart of real food land, and so there's a lot of real.
Oh, that's interesting. Japanese
Chinese
do the
that they
same
say.
with American food. They make it really sweet.
Huh, that is odd. Well, I guess it's, to get the taste so that you can actually eat it. All right, so don't drink the drinks. We did not drink the blue milk, so we cannot review whether it was worth having
It was
blue
probably
milk.
perfectly fine. Actually, I think I heard that was sweet.
Okay, I can't imagine it not, since everything else was sweet.
I had both blue milk and green milk there.
Let's see, what else did we eat? There were 2 highlights, oddly, of the whole thing, of the food that we had. One was a popcorn. Honest to God, there were popcorn bakers around the park, but when you got that
You
popcorn,
got popcorn from a popcorn stand.
it tasted like the perfect movie popcorn.
Did we get that at Mr. Lincoln? Or...
No, it wasn't there. I'd shy away from blue milk. I've heard it's a bit sandy and gritty. Yeah.
Ah.
It looks awful. Yeah, really.
But yeah, the popcorn we had, I think there were different kinds of it, but the one we had was absolutely fresh
Yes.
and really tasted good.
I love kettle corn, but no, this is the movie
Yeah.
popcorn, the big yellow kernels that are this big, and just brings you back
Yeah,
to...
the salt and butter flavor.
Yeah.
And probably not real butter, probably oil, but it tastes
But perfectly
buttery.
not butter
salty.
and not oily or anything. It was just the perfect popcorn. And the other one was a root beer float, because we needed something to drink, and we went into the
Tradition? No.
no, that was in the Golden Calf.
Oh yeah. The Golden Horseshoe, review.
review.
And so I started to stand in line, and was standing in line, when Lori called me over to the table and said, and I was like, but I might someday get through. And she pointed out that there was a thing that said you could use the app, the Disney app that we had downloaded, to pre-order in advance, and you didn't have to stand in line. So I thought that was a little trivial to order a root beer float through the app, but I did. And about 20 minutes later, I got the notification in the app that my root beer float was ready, and of course it wasn't actually. They made it when I got there, but that got me to the front of the line. I paid for it in the app, I think, and they served me a wonderful root beer float.
Yeah. And so it
was
really
that
wasn't.
A&W root beer thing.
No, it was Barnes.
Was it Barks?
Yeah, Barks.
Okay.
So yeah, it was the fact that it was a big lump about this big, a snowball
Of ice cream.
sized of real ice cream, made that a great root beer
The
float.
defect to it is I didn't have the rest of the bottle or can of Barks to pour in as we got through
Yeah,
it.
and the other defect, I was trying to get the ice cream to melt,
To merge in with,
to merge it,
and it had bubbles.
and it
And it
and
went
then we had
everywhere.
everywhere. So yes,
Yeah, so we managed to get a ice cream explosion.
we did. It went everywhere, but it still was good. I've only seen kettle corn made in kettle one place, and it wasn't Disney. I love kettle corn, and it's at street fairs. There's a street fair here every Thursday. There's a market, a Sunset Market, and they have a real kettle corn person there.
Yeah, we used to get it. Was it in Oakhurst?
In Oakhurst,
Yeah,
yeah,
in
there was a
Oakhurst,
great-
they had a street fair there a couple times a year, and they made it fresh in a kettle
I
there.
mean, it's kind of like caramel corn, but it isn't as sweet, and it's
Yeah.
saltier.
More,
I mean,
more subtle.
It's more subtle. I hated the traditional. I didn't like. The traditional caramel corn tends to be
Still
like
popcorn.
no, it isn't. But they tend to caramelize it to the point of being more bitter than it is, and I've never liked that. But a good kettle corn has that salty contrast and a great texture. So that was that. What else did we actually eat at? I can't remember.
Okay,
this
so
one.
anyway, we did at least 3 rides.
The major rides.
Yeah, so it was Haunted Mansion, Star Tours, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Was there another one? We didn't go. Now, previous years we've been to the Indiana Jones ride, which is excellent, and that's one of the ones where standing in the line is almost the most important part of the ride.
Oh, we went on Jungle Tour, the Jungle Cruise.
Oh yeah, went on the Jungle Cruise. That's a necessity. Our guide in the Jungle Cruise was not up to snuff.
Not up to the snuff that we want.
Back in the 70s and 80s when we went in there, they always had basically they hired stand-up comedians.
They didn't initially. When we were kids and went on it, all it was a person mostly
Reading from a
going
script,
straight.
practically.
Yes, but somebody else started this really sarcastic voice and making fun of the whole thing, and they were the most popular one. So a lot of the people were encouraged to improvise and
Yes,
have
so
fun with
effectively
it.
had professional comedians on
Right.
the boats, whether or not they were actual professional comedians, they
Yeah.
were at least aspiring, and did hilarious ad libs. Whereas this one was kind of like saying the lines.
Right, not an actress. It was just not good enough. I actually rather like the stupid movie, the
Jungle Cruise movie. Yeah,
which was fun.
it caught the spirit.
Holographic guy shows up in your image, huh? So let's see. And
And we rode the horse-drawn bus.
oh yeah,
down
we
Main
did.
Street.
I actually rode one of those stupid Main Street rides that
It was
I've
pulled
never
by an
liked.
actual horse
Yeah.
who they gave the name of. Was that Chip? Or
I think it was Chip.
I
Yeah.
think the horse was named Chip.
Yeah, like
and
a
I said,
chocolate chip.
well, it was more like horse chips.
Ah,
That's what I
okay.
thought.
Oh, I thought of chocolate chip.
No,
It
I
was
thought
a
it was.
chocolate
I thought it was
colored
named.
horse.
Makes sense. So that was fun.
So the only souvenir we really brought from the park was COVID. Yeah.
Disease.
Yeah.
Shame. I used to get all my my hats at Disneyland
Yeah, well,
in the Frontierland.
yeah.
I bought all my felt hats.
But we did do the Star Tours show thing, and it was same Star. That was, to my mind, the first ride that really brought the line into the entertainment stage.
Yeah. So the Star Tours line basically, you're going through a spaceport, and it's like waiting in line at an airport, effectively, or
Yes.
going through security at an airport.
So,
And you can, hear the robots. Some of them are welcoming you. Other ones are, you hear some of the behind the scenes talk of, wait, he's not supposed to be here, and stuff like that. And,
there are windows where you could see the shadows of people in front of it and walking past. A Jedi doing this to some guard. I mean, so
Yeah.
there's constantly something to see.
Cause-
in it.
cause
So
it's tough
that is doing it right,
and
honestly.
then you're basically in a motion simulation ride.
Right, and it's a little clunky and it's a little old, but it's still what's up?
My problem the one time we went there was it was broken.
It broke down
It
while
broke
we were
down
there.
just as we were starting, and so I had already started to not feel too well, and then we had to sit there, and that smell of oil during the whole
the
thing set me
diesel.
off. So
Yeah.
I was almost threw up there, and then they said, "Oh, we're sorry that happened. We'll put you in another one that works now." And I think I left. I don't think I went through it.
No, we did not go through it
I think
again.
I thought you did, and I went
No.
to the end and waited.
It was pretty. That might have been it.
So
yeah.
this time it all worked perfectly, and it was stressful, but not too much for me.
Right. So if you are not fond of motion sickness, probably Star Tours is not.
It's not the worst.
It's the
It's
mild.
not the worst,
It's a
but,
mild version of that.
but it's if you're set off by scent. The scent of the
Yeah.
oil is the problem.
Yeah.
And then the Space Mountain is much more intense,
But Space Mountain was
but it was so fast.
Yeah, that was the bob. Well, that was like a bobsled, like the
My favorite.
like the Matterhorn in 3 dimensions of an
Yeah.
inside of a sphere.
Yes, and
Well, we
it's
did
pretty
not.
cool.
We did
We
not
didn't
do
do it this
that
time.
one.
At Knott's Berry Farm, my favorite ride was the water plume ride.
Ah.
And I like the water plume ride at Disneyland as well.
But we did not do it. The last of we were going to do it when we came back
We
because
just
that's
didn't.
the last time it will be the Bear Mountain. I mean the Zippity Doodah version of Splash Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, because they decided that's politically incorrect.
And they have good reason for it.
Yep.
It's a little bit.
Kanita has a Minnie Mouse Trilby hat.
Oh, that's fun. Well, Minnie ears and Mickey ears were all over, and there was honestly the prettiest one was I think it was from Moana ears. It had some gorgeous flowers.
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
that
It
was
was
just
just
a nice,
actually
and it was
really,
a nice design.
really, really elegant for mouse ears. But thank you all for showing up. We really appreciate it. We enjoyed talking with you.
I apologize for coughing and
Yes,
sniffling at you a lot.
You get the feeling that maybe we aren't entirely well. We won't run this till all ends. We will probably
We should be okay in 2 weeks when we do it again.
yes.
Except that we are still planning on going back. We do want to go to. Well, we've been instructed we must go to California Adventure and evaluate the Cars ride because our grandson Elio is a huge car and
fan of
anything with
cars.
wheels fan.
Yes,
and the
loves
Cars
the
movies.
cars in particular, and he's only 2 years old. And my God, that kid is already fixated on trains and cars and everything else.
Igor, bring me the fluid.
At any rate, drink lots of fluids.
Yes.
All right, I love the Pixar movie Cars, the first one. It wasn't a bad movie. It really wasn't.
I'm way behind in all my media. I guess
well.
I need to catch up to be able to
Yes,
do streams.
and especially when you're trying to keep up with grandchildren. Yeah, yeah. And because my son said it's not a bad movie, so therefore I watched it. At any rate, thank you all for
Thanks
coming.
for coming,
We
and
appreciate it.
we'll see you in 2 weeks, and maybe we'll be healthy. We'll have to see.
fluid, yeah.
If we're healthy enough, then we'll go to California Adventure in between and talk about it. And if not, well, I guess there's
And
Mother's.
Marvel Land, yes.
Let's see.
we'll do
I'll
Marvel
have a good
Comics.
Mother's Day next week. Sunday a week.
Yes, honor your mothers.
Honor your mothers. Lori and I can't. Well, we can honor our past mothers.
We can honor their memory.
Yes, the memory of our mothers. But I am a motherless child,
Yes,
and sometimes I feel that way.
and a fatherless one now too. At any rate, bye bye everybody.
I feel like a motherless child.
Bye bye.
Bye bye everyone. Thank
Have
you.
fun.